Operation Africa, a fascinating story that continues to inspire us today. A podcast to celebrate our history, share the present, and walk together toward the future. Produced on the occasion of the 60th anniversary of the Gen Movement, the new generations of the Focolare movement. Produced by the International Center. Chapter 3. Our Home is the World, with Margaret Cohen.
Hello everyone, I'm Cynthia, a Syrian Gen. Welcome to the third episode of this journey through Operation Africa. We have seen the birth of the vision with Chiara and the counter-cultural commitment of young people in Europe. But there comes a moment when the desire for unity asks for something more, to leave everything behind and embark on a new journey. We will go in the heart of the forest, to Fontem, where every stone laid was an act of love, and every encounter a discovery for the other. Today we are joined by Margaret Cohen, an English journalist who in the 1970s spent time among the Bangwa and in the Ivory Coast, transforming what seemed like an impossible challenge into an inspiring, full of light. Welcome, Margaret. We would like to ask you a few questions. First of all, what motivated you to leave for Africa?
When I was a little girl at school and we were given as a project to make a scrapbook about any country in the world, I chose a country in Africa. Then at home, we regularly received a magazine from a missionary society that our mother had us distribute to neighbours and friends. So these were the two seeds that planted in me the desire to know this continent better. Then when Chiara went to Fontem to visit the Bangwa, she saw that they needed many things: roads, a hospital with a maternity ward, schools, small industries, so that Fontem and the Bangwa could become self-sufficient and live life with dignity. On her return from Fontem, she entrusted the work for Operation Africa in a special way to us Gen, to the young people. She said, "Europe owes a debt to Africa. Put your back into it." We Gen had a slogan, either unity or death. And we had the same measure with Operation Africa. I think I was invited to go to Fontem because I spoke English and studied French. In addition to their ethnic languages, these were the two languages spoken in the Cameroon. Was I afraid of going to somewhere completely unknown to me? My parents were perhaps a little afraid. On the contrary, I was counting the days to leave. We'd heard it was a difficult journey, and at that time Fontem had little contact with the outside world. It was difficult to reach. There were no real roads. There were large forests and high mountains, and in heavy rain the road disappeared into the mud. I hope not to disappoint the Gen and not to disappoint Chiara. She had so much faith in the Gen.
Well, that's very profound. We have a second question for you. What did Africa and the Bangwa give you that you could never have imagined before leaving? And do you have any stories you would like to share with us?
Before I left for Fontem, perhaps I thought that I had something to give to these people, my passion for the Gen movement if nothing else, and maybe also because of my Celtic culture, I wanted to give everything of myself. However, when I arrived in Fontem, I realised that I was there to receive a gift that God personally prepared for me. Fontem, as you know, is surrounded by hills, covered with tropical forests. It's not a flat jungle. You look at all these different levels of the mountains, these ancient and massive trees. And on the evening of our arrival, there was an amazing light. It was beautiful. Then we were surrounded by those who'd been waiting for us, all the people of Fontem, the young people, the parents, the grandparents. It was a feast for the eyes. I remember all the colours of their clothes, all the welcome in their eyes, in every gesture. We were surrounded by their warmth. I'd never experienced anything compared to it. I was discovering a people different from mine, a culture so different from mine that they wanted to share it with me. I felt so privileged. And of course I got to know their values and their customs, which had been maintained and protected for centuries. And I understood that this was a people that God had tried and prepared to receive the ideal. It was as if they had antennae that were particularly sensitive to the divine, to the supernatural. It was so easy to talk about God or spiritual things with them. I was struck by their intelligence, their artistic gifts, their figurative art over the centuries in wood carvings, ceremonial masks and dances with their deep meaning for important events. Usually someone who would normally be inhibited, I found myself drawn into the dancing, which was a celebration of the joy of living. It's difficult to explain. It was both a physical and spiritual experience in my body. And thinking about the society I had left behind, I couldn't help but think about how many of our values have been lost. I was aware of the gift, of the privilege of being in that place that opened up my heart and widened my mind. It's hard to say how it transformed me, but it expanded my vision of the world, my way of perceiving things. And that was a big step forward in my self-awareness. I was infected by their contagious joy in the way I was welcomed. And then, for example, there was the honour of a private meeting with the Fon. He is the king of the Bangwa people, the supreme cultural, administrative and spiritual leader of the community. He's a highly respected, very intelligent and very committed man, used to dealing with important people. I was just a young girl who didn't know anything. I met him in the government chamber in the palace complex. It was both beautiful and simple. He welcomed me as someone sent by Chiara. He was seated in his seat of office and beside him was the Queen, his sister. I discovered that she shared the weight of responsibility with him. I was amazed and struck by the sense of equality between them. I could never have imagined it. It felt so modern. I also understood that the Fon is in charge of taking care not only of the civil well-being of the people, but also of their spiritual and moral well-being. A beautiful thing. Every year they venerate their ancestors in a special way to honour them, to thank them for all that they have received from them, and they ask for their blessing and protection for the year ahead. I was very impressed with this and could identify with it. If we respect and are grateful to those who've gone before us, it surely follows that we must be grateful and respectful towards the older people in our community. This is something that I took away with me. I told myself that when I got home, I would continue in this way of being spontaneous, of being authentic.
And now for the third question. If you close your eyes and let your heart take you back to those days, the forest, the people, the struggles, also the discoveries, the conversations, the transformations, what word comes to your mind spontaneously? And why that one, of all things?
In Africa, I learned that if your words and your way of behaving match up, you are then able to make true relationships and reciprocal relationships, precisely because you are consistent. Although I wanted to love, in Africa I had the opportunity to realise that there were many things that were not in the right place in me, and so I made the decision to be more free and more truthful in my relationships. The experience of Africa has always accompanied me, and the word which comes to mind would be gratitude. Gratitude to have been involved in Operation Africa from the start, which gave me a love for all of Africa. Gratitude for having known the wonderful people of Bangwa and for having seen the rise of that city that Chiara prophesied. Eternal gratitude for the friends I made in Fontem and among the Bangwa. Africa stole my heart. Fontem stole my heart. I would say that I saw authenticity in Africa, and it helped me to make a change in my life as a young person. Fontem is like a lighthouse and will continue to live in my heart together with its people.
Thank you, Margaret, for sharing your testimony with us. Perhaps this is exactly where the story reveals its deepest meaning, when a dream becomes life, encounter and home. In Fontem, among real faces and concrete stories, we saw that unity is not something distant, but something that is built every day, step by step, and what was born there did not remain frozen in time. In the next episode, we will discover an initiative born from the hearts of young people, one that looks at Africa with new eyes and with the same passion as those who, many years ago, started it all. Because from there, it has never stopped beginning again.
C'è una piccola città in Africa, proprio in mezzo alla foresta, proprio così. Gli abitanti del villaggio, lo sai, fan di tutto per amare come Gesù.